Hi, everybody. I'm so excited that we are going to be here, and I'm waiting for Jonathan to pop on. I know he's probably here already. I'm just going to wait for him to pop on. There he is! All right. Oops. For some reason, Jonathan, it won't let me add you. So I want to add you. Hey, guys. I want to add you. I know you're here. I see you, but I want to add you. And for some reason, it won't let me allow your viewers to request to join you. So I don't know if you're on your computer, you might need to get on your phone. Just saying. So, let me see. So if you guys haven't gotten his book, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to announce the 5 peeps who won it. You're still not, it won't, if I could show you a picture of it, wouldn't let me, it's not letting me join you. Or you me. Okay. Nope. Still won't let me. It'll let me add Courtney, it'll let me add Nichelle, but it won't let me add Angie, and it won't let me add Jonathan. So, and it might be, and that's why I do this on my phone, because I don't think it'll let me add people if I get on the computer. I could try it from the computer and see if I go that way. Okay, let me try you again. Nope. I love technology, y'all. I wonder if it would let me do a live stream from my computer. Nope. I know, right? It won't let me do a live stream from the computer. So I wonder if it'll let me do... Nope. Crazy, right? I wonder if he's able to get on his phone. We'll probably have to cut out the first couple minutes. I wish you could see this on my end, because it won't let me add you. Jonathan, are you on your phone? Maybe we should have done a run through. I was just telling him I do things so impromptu, and I just fly. And see, Sandy I can add, Courtney I can add, Nichelle I can add, Angie, I know you don't want to be added, but it won't let me add, because there's a little button that says, can you get on your phone? Because it won't let me add you from the computer. Okay. Yay. Hey, Colleen. You're at the playground. That's amazing. I love that. All right. So I'm just, being impromptu until we pop on. So once he pops on, hey guys. Okay, so I'm gonna just start in. Oh, hey Nan, how are you? I'm gonna start in and just kind of talking about Jonathan's book, because I think it's amazing. Hey Susan Ann. Let me see. There he is. Ta-da! I'm adding you.
Hey!
Hey!
Hey, I made it.
Yay! Winning.
All right, cool. Very, very cool. All right, hang on a minute. Let me get this up here. All right, so it was the phone thing. That's what it was.
It's the phone. For some reason, you can't go, I did know that, it won't let you go live on your computer. So
that's really good.
It is what it is. So first of all, I want to tell everybody, because I think this is really cool, and this is a really interesting connection. So for those of you who have been following me for a while, or for those of you who are new to me because you want to see Jonathan, I'm Kristen, and I'm with Bariatric Mindset, And I had my surgery. I'm a VSG sleever. I had my surgery in October of 2013. So I'm about to have my 5-year surgiversary. Woo, woo.
Nice. Happy surgery.
Thank you. Almost. I'm almost there.
Almost.
So Jonathan and I met because we're in a Facebook group together, and we had our surgeries at the same surgical center. And right. So many people know, because I'm in Georgia now, but I had my surgery in Washington State at what was once the Puget Sound Surgical Center, now called Aviva Link Surgical Center in Washington State, which is outside of Seattle. So that's how we met. And I find it really awesome that out of the 751 people that are in that group, that both of us have written books about bariatric surgery. And I think that that's so awesome. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we've exchanged books, and I really wanted to talk. I mean, there are so many awesome things to say about his book, but one of the things that I wanted to highlight is that there's not many men on this journey that are so open and that can share things so candidly. And while this is a book for both genders, right?
Totally.
Hey, Christy. Oh, I'm in Woodstock, but my office is in Alpharetta, Christy. So whoop, whoop. But so this is the piece for men. Well, it is for both genders, because it's something that is so relatable to as a patient, regardless of whether you're, a man or a woman. And I also know some individuals who are transgender going through this. So I would say, no matter what gender you identify with, this is a great book for you, because it's all about the journey. Sorry, I'm trying to get my phone together. But that's where I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So okay, that's my very impromptu intro, but I want to hear from you. What inspired you to write this book, and to share a little? We're going to talk about the book in a minute, but I want to hear a little bit about you and how you started your journey as a weight loss surgery patient, and then how you came across to write the book. Okay.
Sure.
And here's the floor. Jonathan.
Oh, thank you. And first off, thank you so much for inviting me to come and talk to you. And to everybody who's watching live, I really appreciate it. It looks like some people, some of my friends are in there. Hi guys, good to see everybody. Good to see friends I haven't met yet. I'm very happy to see everybody. So how did I get here? How did I write the book? Those two stories actually sort of dovetail really nicely to each other. So weight was always something that I struggled with pretty much my whole life. Gained weight, lost weight, tried pretty much every diet or fad you can imagine. If it's out there, I probably did it. Brown rice, Weight Watchers, Body for Life, standing on your head for 8 hours a day, whatever it is. I've tried them all. And my weight would go up, it would go down, it would go up, it would go down. In 2009, I had probably objectively the worst year anybody's ever really had. And I shouldn't say worst, because there were some good things too. But it was just one sort of major life event after another. And, the loss of a job, the loss of a parent, starting a new business, having a child, eventually then a few years later going through a divorce. And sort of all of these things altered the way that my life was. And by the time I got to 2015, my weight, which I had been struggling with, had been successfully ballooning up to the point where I was 405 pounds.
Wow.
And when it was about, I think it was November or December of 2015 that I really decided, I'm like, you know what? I haven't weighed myself in several months. I feel lousy. My back is starting to hurt walking through the grocery store with my daughter. My daughter was asking me like, hey, can I push the cart? And I would have to say no, because I needed it to hold on to and to lean on.
I know that. That resonates. I get that.
Yeah. And there were other sort of little physical things that were just, annoying. I mean, when, and forgive me for anybody who's in the chat or listening that doesn't necessarily want to talk about anything sort of bodily, but I'm going to. When your back starts to hurt when you lean over to wipe yourself, right? Like that's when there's a problem, right? And so I stepped on the scale, and for the first time ever, I saw a 4, and that 4 terrified me. I had been like 390, I'd been 380, but this was a 405, and I was terrified. And I actually got to the lowest point I've ever been at. I was convinced that if I went and saw my doctor, that she was going to tell me, hey, look, You're 38, actually 37. You have done as much damage to your body as you can possibly do. There is nothing more we can do for you. Go home, curl up, and wait until you die. That's where I thought I was.
Really?
That's where I thought I was. And I went and saw my doctor, Dr. Catherine Zay, who works at the Birth and Family Clinic out here in Edmonds, affiliated with one of the local hospitals. And she told me, nope, that's not what I'm going to tell you to do. I am going to increase your antidepressant, which was really helpful. And said, and you're just going to go home for a month, and you're going to focus on just really getting your mind in the right space, and then we're going to talk again in a month.
Okay.
She didn't talk about diet. She didn't talk about exercise. She didn't talk about weight loss, nothing. She just wanted me to get my mood under control and come back. I came back after, then I did a small personal retreat to my favorite place in the world, which is Walt Disney World. I'm a timeshare owner down there. I co-host the Disney podcast. But it was another weird trip. I went down to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is this beautiful, beautiful lodge near the Animal Kingdom. And you got animals right out your window, giraffes and bears and everything.
Right.
And I was supposed to be going for a Run Disney event to do a half marathon. And there was just no way that was going to happen. And I was actually I was embarrassed. I didn't want to go. I told my counselor, I'm like, nope, I'm just going to stay home and pretend I'm not there. And she told me to go anyway. And I did the weirdest thing I've ever done. I spent a week at a Walt Disney theme park, and I never left my hotel room. I stayed in my hotel room the entire time. I wrote, I watched TV, I meditated. I just used it as a personal retreat in a beautiful place. And that was where I made the decision that even though my doctor had mentioned surgery to me over the years periodically, and I'd always been really resistant, when I came back, I was gonna talk about surgery. And I came back and I talked to her about surgery, and I made the phone call to Aviva, also to a couple of other places to do some seminars and get some information. And as I was doing that, it occurred to me that the process that I was going through was hilariously funny to me, just absolutely hilariously funny. And my background, although I'm a lawyer by trade, my background is in theater and performance, and I've done stand-up and I do improv. I have kind of a interesting outlook on the world, and it occurred to me that what I was going through was really funny, and I needed to start writing it down just for me, like as a journal.
Right.
And that was actually how the book started, was as a journal. The hardest part of actually writing the book, once I realized what I was doing, was going back and changing its format from date journal entry to chapter heading and like, here's a topic I'm going to talk about.
Like pulling it together like cohesion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was really hard because it was just a narrative journal.
Right.
But as I started writing it, and as I started getting through the process, what I realized was the emotions I was going through, both positive and negative, fears, excitement, all these different things. The emotions I was going through mirrored the process that I had gone through when I went through my divorce, or when my dad passed away, or my grandmother passed away, or when my daughter was born, or when I started my business, or any of these things. And I realized that this surgery and the aftermath of this surgery really is one of those major life events, like I was talking about before.
Right.
There are those times in your life you can define yourself by. There's you before, and there's you after, and you're never the same again.
Right.
And this
100%.
is one of those things. And so it occurred to me that maybe my outlook on life, and just, it's my 2 cents on my experience. And as an improvised teacher that I work with says, it's my 2 cents, and that's what they're worth. So I'm happy to offer them. But I thought to myself, if what I'm going through and the way that I'm going through it can help somebody else get through a transition of some sort,
right,
whether it's a weight loss transition or not, great. That's my goal, is can I help somebody get from point A to point B? And that's why I was very heavily criticized by I did a consult with a book guy when I was finishing this up, like a book marketing guy. And he told me I absolutely had to change the title and the subtitle of my book. He said they were for marketing purposes, he said they were terrible, because it should be something like the 10 best ways to lose weight, or the 10 things I learned after weight loss surgery. Like I should have my search terms right there in my title. And I said, no way, because that's not what this book is about. This book is, for me, it's about finding myself, and it's about finding yourself, and about finding a way to find yourself. For me, the way that I did that was through this weight loss surgery. Right. But that may not be how you find yourself.
Correct. Right.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Long answer
Well,
short question.
no, but that's awesome. And yeah, that's amazing. And, you know, as I was reading through, well, first of all, I saw some things that I was like, yes, 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 you know, because as someone who's, you know, has a psych background, and, you know, I was a therapist before I had surgery, and started digging in, like there was some pieces that I picked up that I think are really so important, like the pieces about boundaries. And now I'm trying to find the chapter that might be in, but it's the boundary setting, how it'll change relationships,
Yeah.
how, you know, and I think it all goes back to that piece that you were saying, which I completely agree with, is it's a life change, and that who you were before is going to be different from who you were after. And I resonate with that as a patient as well, because at 18 months post-op, I thought, and I don't say this in my book, but I tell this to people, and I've said this on live stream before, is I literally expected like the clouds to part and angels to sing, and that my life would just be amazing, because
Wait, that didn't happen to you?
no,
Because that happened to me right at 18 months, actually. It was amazing.
I was waiting for like this is the most amazing time of my life. And actually it was like, it was more of like, what is happening right now? I'm
Right.
not exactly where I want to be. I'm smaller. I love my body, but holy crap. Now what? You mean I still have to work at this? You mean
Yeah.
I actually still have to, you know, take these action steps and do something? It's not just perfection.
Nope.
And right. Well, we both know that. But it was one of those things that brought me to the realization that it's so much more, and it is a journey, and it's not a destination. And the other thing that I wanted to share about it that I love is your experience with the CPAP machine, breathing, and how you were like, what do you mean I have to give up belly sleeping? And
Yeah. Yep. And thankfully I only had to give that up for a short period of time. I mean,
right.
I was on the CPAP for about 6 months. But the sort of the funny part about that, right, is the fact that I had never been diagnosed with sleep apnea before. And when I went in for the surgical consult, you know, my surgeon, Dr. Smooth Jazz himself, said, you know, hey, I want you to go see the pulmonologist to get your
Right.
sleep apnea under control. And I said, I don't have sleep apnea. And he said, yes, you do. I said, well, how do you know? He goes, because you have sleep apnea. I'm just telling you have sleep apnea. And of course I went in, and sure enough, I had sleep apnea. They got me on the CPAP. And
Wow.
small product shout out for you. I think it's Philips makes a CPAP mask. If anybody uses CPAP, called the Dream Mask, that actually goes around your nose and hooks up top of your head, up here, and it doesn't have anything protruding from your face or from the back of your head.
Oh,
so
wow.
You can sleep on your side, you can sleep on your face, and you can actually sleep however you're comfortable, because the tube comes out here. So really cool. That was the one that I used. But again, I think once the first like 80 or 90 pounds came off, it went away.
Right.
You know, so, and it's just, I love the idea of sharing what I've been through and my thought process on it. And from my viewpoint, I mean, you've got a background in counseling and mental health. I don't have a background in counseling and mental health, right? Like this is not in any sense a, you know, professional book about here's the mindset you're going to have. If you want to learn about the mindset you need to have, Bariatric Mindset, that's the book you want to read. It's an amazing book. I love it.
Thank you.
My book is more about just what my life was like going through this and what your life might be like going through it. And every now and then I get a little bit tongue in cheek. I mean, you know, and I don't pull any punches. We're in my book, which, and I don't know if we've said it, but I'm going to throw it out there. The title of the book is hashtag Sleeve Life, losing half of myself and finding the rest. And
beautiful title.
Thank
Screw the
you.
guy who said it wasn't.
Thank you. I talk about gas. I talk about dating.
I know.
I talk about you name it. I talk about fears, death, you name it.
Right.
And I want to give you, if it's okay, I want to give you a sense of my personality that comes through in the book without reading to you from the book. So just a week or so ago, I went over to Aviva for a book signing event, and they asked me to give a little talk, a little presentation. And I went back to a question that a reader sent to me. Somebody, a guy named Jim,
Okay.
read an article about me in the Everett Herald,
Okay.
found the book and sent me an email telling me that he was considering this surgery, but that his wife was telling him that she thought it was cheating to have this surgery.
Ooh.
And did I have any detractors, and how did I deal with them? And of course, when I answered his email, I told him that, look, it's no more cheating than, say, taking medication for diabetes is, or treating a heart problem or anything like that. Obesity and overweight are not things you are; they are things you have.
Correct.
And are things you can treat. But the thing that I wanted to think about for the Aviva talk was, you know what? Maybe it really is cheating. And I came up with my top 5 reasons why it's totally cheating to have VSG surgery. And any of you who have had VSG surgery, you will understand all of these completely. So these are the 5 reasons why it's totally cheating to have VSG surgery. First off, Kristen, as you know, after VSG, you can eat as much as you want of anything you want anytime for the rest of your life. Right? You never have to worry about portions or the type of thing you eat. You can put as much of it in there as you want, as long as it's like maybe a quarter cup or a half cup of something, and it's not too sweet and it's not too liquidy and it's not going to upset your stomach. You can eat as much of it as you want of anything, anytime, forever and ever. Of course, obviously that's not the case, but that's what some people think. It's not the case. The second reason, totally cheating. And this is the thing I personally love. You can see my really comfy chair back here. You never have to be physically active or do any exercise ever again for the rest of your life. Unless, of course, you want to do things like live and go outside and enjoy the world.
And keep the weight off.
Like marathons and keep the weight off. Exactly. And I've done, prior to losing the weight, I had done half marathons, mostly at a walking speed, and I had successfully completed a couple, but I had not successfully completed many more. Since then, I've taken up doing racing challenges. I do 10Ks followed by half marathons the next day, and I've done 3 of those so far. I've completed each one. I've got another one coming up in November. All of them down in Florida at Run Disney events. I'm a huge Disney fan, as I said earlier. But so yeah, there's you can just avoid physical activity forever. So it's great surgery for that. Third reason, totally cheating. The procedure is absolutely painless, has no long-lasting effects at all on the rest of your life ever. None of your physical body changes really. I didn't have like massive complications a few months later, lose my gallbladder, end up on my back in the middle of the Fremont Farmers Market. That didn't happen. So no, this is not an easy thing at all. Oh, my favorite, the 4th reason why it's totally cheating. 4th reason. As soon as you wake up from anesthesia, all the weight is gone. It just disappears while you're in the surgery. It's completely gone. There's no work to do. No, I mean, it's a process like anything else, right? And the last one, though, this I think will resonate with you, Kristen, as coming from your background. The thing I love is it's totally cheating because once you've had VSG, you will never fear food, weight, depression, or anything like that for as long as you live. It will cure you of those things forever and ever.
And everybody knows why I'm laughing, because this is so tongue-in-cheek. Like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, by the way, none of that is true. All of that is my way of just sort of, I guess, talking to the detractors, because there are people who say, look, this is the easy way out. And let me just say, I've been through other diet programs. I've been through Weight Watchers and all these things. I have never in a diet program had to meet with a counselor because the FDA requires it, so that you sign something that says you are losing a piece of your body forever and ever. Right? Like there's a whole thing you have to go through for this surgery where you have to meet with a counselor and sign something that says, I know this piece of my stomach you're taking out will never get put back in. Right? Right. There's mandatory government counseling before this. Weight Watchers doesn't have that.
Right.
So.
No, 100%.
Yeah, there's so much about this that is not the easy way. What it is a huge tool, and it's a kickstart. And frankly, that's what what Dr. Zay said to me when I went and saw her in January 2016 before I had the surgery. She said, look, you can do this the old-fashioned way. I've seen you do it. You'll be successful, and I'll help you. It will take a long time. and there will
Right.
be ups and downs, and there will be
Mm-hmm.
battles.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can talk about the surgery, which is really a giant kick in the right direction.
Right.
And then once that momentum's going, you get to pick up the ball and run with it.
Exactly.
And that's, I studied science before I went to law school. I wanted to be a doctor at one point, and so like physics, right? That if you got this giant boulder at the top of a hill,
Yep.
right, the hardest thing to do is get it moving. But
Right.
once it's moving, the momentum can kind of carry it a little bit.
Exactly. Right.
So,
Right.
but the other thing that I really talk about in the book that is really important to me is the idea of not just changing your physical life, but changing your emotional life. I have an entire chapter called Enjoying Sunshine.
Yes, I love that. I think it's 26.
I don't know the numbers, but it's according to the
No,
table
because
of contents,
I've
it's on
got it
page
up on
110.
it is. It's 26 because I was gonna start talking about 27, but go ahead.
Okay.
Enjoying sunshine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Especially in Seattle, because big business for me in Seattle was the wintertime because of SAD, seasonal affective disorder. Sure. Yeah.
And to be clear, when I say enjoying sunshine, I don't just mean enjoying the sun.
I know.
But what, like before this, my daughter calls me a bear. And there's lots of bear jokes in my world. There's bears everywhere. In fact, I think there's,
there might be one in your backyard.
Well, yeah, no, there's a bear. There's bears right there. My daughter gave me those for Father's Day one year. That's a little bear, a baby bear, and a papa bear. Anyway, and so, but I kept my house dark and cold and like a bear cave.
Oh yeah.
Because it was comfortable for me. It was safe for me, safe emotionally, safe physically. And as one of the first selfies that I have from after the surgery when I started to see some of the weight come off is of me outside on a walk, just walking literally to the mailbox to get my mail, and with a big smile on my face. And I started realizing, hey, I like it not just in here. And don't get me wrong, I still like it in here, but I like it out there too. And there's all sorts of things. So I went on a date the other day. I was amazed at this, and I'm going to talk about that in a second too. But my girlfriend took me to the fair.
That's awesome.
Evergreen State Fair, and I used to hate going to the fair because it was hot and all the walking, and then you couldn't fit on any of the rides, and if you did, it was really uncomfortable. And because of the momentum of the size of your body, it was like, oh, maybe this ride's actually going to break and I'm actually going to die while I'm on it. Which, that does make it a little more exciting, but it is definitely it's an entirely new experience. Going to a theme park, going to a fair, doing something outside, heck, doing a half marathon, all of it is new.
Right.
So anyway, you wanted to talk about not 26, but 27.
I do, but I want to read something if I can from 26, because I really also want to encourage everybody to get this book because it's really awesome. So it's on page 115. So, but this,
hang on, I'm scrolling. Hang on.
Okay, this I want to read because I think it resonates with my tribe, and they know who they are. They're on this call. So when I stay in the dark, it's not because I fear the light. It's because I like the dark. And that brings me to fear, which of course is the path to the dark side. Oops, my geek showing again. Fear of change is one of the most powerful fears there is. We know now. We are safe now, even if now sucks. Now is familiar. What's coming? That's scary because it could be damn near anything. But as my depression lifts, the future seems less scary and more hopeful. It could be damn near anything. It's amazing what happens when your chief coping mechanism, food, you didn't write that, but I'm including that, disappears. You are forced to actually think your way through things and figure out why you are really feeling. If I couldn't eat my feelings, I was just going to have to feel them, which, believe it or not, is the only way through them. You can't avoid your feelings. You have to go through, not around. The journey is just as valuable on the destination on this as the destination on this one, trust me. And then let me be clear, I didn't just bust through my depression without help. I was on antidepressants and in weekly counseling. So that, I think, is huge because there are so many people that don't recognize, that they do need that additional support after.
And I still am in weekly counseling.
Right,
Every Monday. I call it Mental Health Monday.
Mental Health Monday. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so this is what you said, these tools are what helped me develop the skills that I needed to start to make my cave a little bigger and brighter, cleaner, more open, more inviting. So I just read from that page, but that is just, that's like the essence of what I'm trying to teach people, is that this is the master computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say one thing. I was just criticized recently by another editor on a different. I wrote a book for my office about the legal work that I do, and they called me and they said, we really need you to rewrite a lot of this stuff right now because you write like you talk. And we don't
I write like I talk.
And I'm like, yeah, but I do write like I talk, and so it's the number one thing that I've seen people say who've read this book is that it feels like sitting down and having a conversation with me. And that's exactly what I want it to feel like. I want you to be able to hear my voice and my speech patterns and all that. And I am currently working on, you guys can see I've got my nice recording studio and all this stuff. I am working on the Audible version of the book. So I will be able to talk you through you could probably listen to this thing in the 3 hours it'll take you to do a half marathon. So there you go.
Right.
There's a challenge.
Right. So getting
people listen to Sleep Life as
exactly. And I'm almost there. If I can just get my chapter 2 edited, it will be up on Audible. So I am so close. I'm so close. So, okay. So I wanted to talk about baking in bites, which is chapter 27, because the first part of that chapter says, Dado, let's bake. And so I think that is, you know, a lot of people fear food after, and they're like, oh, I can never eat X, Y, or Z ever again. And yes, there's a sense of putting yourself in control and recognizing, and I love the part where you talked about, I cut a small 1-inch square corner of cake with a little dollop of frosting, and you talk about like your facial expressions and all of these things and how you were filling up after one bite. And then you started to question, like, how am I going to manage this? So it shows how the brain, you know, you're going back into fear, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that is, you know, you'd even said, and then trying to find it. But brownies, they're my favorite, and they're Ghirardelli. I just had enough room for a bite, but I'd want more. I'd likely cut too big a bite, and then I'd get fat again because I ate too big of a brownie bite in one day. And I'd undo the entire surgery just from one brownie bite, which is a clue that my negative self-talk was back rearing its ugly head. This is what I'm talking about. Like, that's why I was like, oh my God, we have to do this talk because it resonates so much. I think both of our messages in terms of really helping people to help themselves. And that's why I'm also really excited that this is going to be on Audible, because I think people need so much support. It's not just from me, from Bariatric Mindset, but there's got to be another voice. And, you know, like I said earlier, not just for men, because I think that your voice is really good for men who are, and especially because you talk about your first sexual experience and all of these things, which I think is important for guys to hear.
I have to tell you that my editor, who gets a lot of shout outs in the book, but my editor made me change that entire portion of the book. Mainly because my editor, good friend of mine at the time, and my editor said, you know, look, the people that you're talking about may actually read this book, and how much personal information do you actually want to disclose?
Right.
I don't think I said anything negative.
No.
But I'm looking for the actual section because I want to give like the director's cut here while we're doing this and give you guys the actual truth here. Let me find it should be right in here. Yeah, 102.
Well, you guys, I want to just say this while you're looking. Chapter 28, dehydration and constipation. 29, I really love not being recognized, because you walk into the courtroom and the judge, who was an incumbent on an election, thought that you were, because he didn't recognize you because you'd lost so much weight and you'd shaved your head. He thought you were his opponent. Like, yeah, Nancy, the director's cut. And then chapter 30, testicular terror. Like, guys, this is both informative. It's both a great personal account, but it's also, you know, humorous, but in a very lighthearted way. And that's okay. Sorry. So tell me about your director's cut.
That's okay.
I love it.
So I basically I shrink this down to essentially a very small paragraph, but I mean, I'll say that um, one of the first relationships that I had, one of the first, I guess, lengthier than a couple of date relationships I had after my sleeve surgery and all that, after the weight had kind of come off, we had gotten to that first moment where we were going to be together for the first time, right? And I literally I stopped.
Right.
And I was just like, she was really worried. She was looking at me like, "What's wrong?" Right. This is the part. This is the part she made me cut out. She looked at me and she said, "What's wrong?" And I just sort of, with this dazed look in my eyes, and I wasn't looking at her. I was looking in between us, and I said, "There is nothing wrong." She said, "Well, what are you looking at?" And I said, "Everything." It was the first time I'd ever actually been able to observe what that was for me.
Right.
And it was a
like you had
just a
no belly.
fascinating experience.
Like you
Yeah,
could see
yeah.
everything because you had no belly. And before
Everything
you were probably so
works
used to
better.
having a belly. Right.
Yeah, everything works better. And I'll say this as an aside. I said I was going to mention this later, but one of the unintended consequences of all of this is the fact, and my counselor and I were talking about this the other day. For 4 years, I've been in weekly counseling, focusing on issues with self-esteem, self-image, dating, fear, anxiety, etc. And I am now in a good, solid relationship where I feel really
That's
safe
awesome.
and secure, and everything up here is quiet, and everything in here is quiet. And it is somebody who I met through Aviva, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she actually saw an advertisement for my law firm at a local movie theater and reached out to me, and it's like the most amazing thing. And I was saying to my counselor the other day, the only people who can really understand how significant what I'm feeling personally is right now are me and her, me and my counselor, because
right.
she's like, yeah, getting to this point in your life where you feel like this, and you're physically feeling like this, you're emotionally feeling like this, hasn't just been something we've been working on in therapy. This has been 4 years of weekly therapy. Like, you've got a college degree in feeling this way at this point. And it's amazing. And it's something where if everything hadn't gone the way that it did,
right,
all the different pieces, and that's really important. Yeah, I did a lot of work, but I didn't do it alone. I had my doctors,
right,
and my surgeons, and my counselor, and my Facebook
right,
friends, and everybody involved.
Right.
If everything hadn't gone the way that it did, I wouldn't be where I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be talking to you guys.
Right.
And so don't think that whatever tool you're using for whatever process you're doing, don't think that that's in and of itself going to be enough. You still need that support network. You still
Mm-hmm.
need that
Chapter 16, being
Yes.
supportive and supportive.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're looking around your support network and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I don't have as much support as I need, and I say this right in the book, if you need somebody else to support you, email me. My email address is in the book, and I'll give it to you right now. It's Jonathan, JONATHAN, at sleevelifebook.com. You can email me. You can email me and just say, hey, I had a great week and I just want to tell you about it. Or you can email me and say, hey, I'm really struggling and I can't figure out how to only eat one bite of a brownie. Or whatever you want to tell me or talk to me about. I would love to, and I know we're running a little bit short on time, but I want to throw this
it's
out
called
there if I can.
Sleeve Life, Michelle, and it's on, we're going to post the link in a couple minutes, but it's hashtag Sleeve Life. Thank you, Angie. And it's on Amazon. So we're going to post the Amazon link.
It's on Amazon and Kindle, and it'll be on Audible soon-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things people asked me about, and it's going to be very different than a similar title sort of thing. People asked me what my next project is going to be in terms of Sleeve Life, and people asked me about a Sleeve Life workbook, a companion workbook, and that is something that is in the works. But
that's awesome.
It is not going to be a workbook similar to the Bariatric Mindset workbook, where there's awesome like checklists and planning pages and those sorts of things. That I love, and I use that, and there's no reason for me to copy that or even come anywhere close to it. What I'm going to try to work on is getting people through the sort of mental hijinks that a normal, untrained brain might go through. how to get through I'm terrified of dying on an operating table.
You know what? And that is needed, because I have a colleague who is thinking about the surgery, and she's been sending me messages, and if she sees this, she'll know who she is. And she's like, okay, am I going to have like gallbladder disorder, gallstones, and then die? Like, what are the chances that I'm going to be in pain for like months? And I'm like, you're going to be fine. Like, talk to your doctor. Like, so that's needed, because I think a lot of pre-op people don't know what to expect. And I think that's a big part of what people really, really need. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep talking. So, can you hear me? Are you there? No. Okay. I'm going to have him pop back on. Come on back. Oh, you lost audio. Okay, I'm going to post the link in the group, in the little group chat. Oh, come back on, because I see you, but I can't add you. Oh, there you are. I'm adding you. Yay. Okay. I'm multitasking. I just posted. Are you back? Okay, good.
Yep,
Yay.
Sorry,
Re-invite him. I did.
The dangers of doing this on a cell phone. My phone rang.
Oh, yes. And I actually had called a couple people, or texted a couple of people. I was like, do not call me in the next 45 minutes because I'm busy. So I get that. Okay. So I just posted I posted #SleeveLife. And for those of you, I just posted the Amazon link in the thing here. So
what I was getting at in terms of the workbook project is I need your guys' help for this, because I want to hear your stories. I want to hear how you got to where you are, and what you were afraid of, and what you weren't afraid of, and what you were fearless about, and what you were terrified about. So if you guys do email me, jonathan@sleevelifebook.com,
yes,
I would love to hear your stories so I can collect them and put them together into a workbook, and it would be great. And wow, I see Glenn Barker just joined. Hey, Glenn. And I saw a lot of other friends, Christy, Mary Beth, Carla.
Hey, and Christy lives near me. I think Christy and I might be able to meet up.
Christy, let me tell you, Christy and her family, like Christy and I don't think I've ever actually met face to face. No, we haven't met face to face, but her mom and dad were on an Adventures by Disney trip with me and my mom to Italy. In fact, surprise spoiler, the end of my book is my trip to Italy. And that's where I met her mom and dad. And she started listening to the podcast because she was a Disney cast member and she's a big Disney nerd like me. And then when I was recovering from, I think it was my gallbladder surgery.
So you did have gallbladder surgery after?
Yeah, I had gallbladder surgery less than a year after.
Mm-hmm.
I basically had I had 2 giant stones. They were like the size of jawbreakers. They were so big they let me keep them. So I have them in a jar. Anyway, I think it might have been after my tummy tuck. Christy sent me this wonderful gray blanket from, there's like a company on Amazon that does these like feel better blankets. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got like all these really nice. Christy, if you're listening, what was the name of that blanket that you sent? It's got all these like feel better and hugs and all that, and it's like the softest, warmest blanket. Yeah, it's just amazing. Oh, Tammy's talking about family and friends scare tactics prior to surgery. Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah, like yes. Okay, so there's something that is necessary. Plus, the other thing that I think is necessary, something that we've already discussed, which is that people will accuse you of taking the easy way out.
Yep, easy way out.
And I know that you kind of, did that tongue in cheek on, here are the 5 reasons why it is the easy way out. And
totally the easy way.
But it's being, I love the sarcasm, because it's so important for people to realize, like, this is not easy at all. And I refer to it for a lot of people, not only as a tool, but I talk about the biological reset, how it reconfigures the hunger hormones in your stomach. And I have learned the clinical piece, the biological piece, because I think that that's important, because people think it is just calories in, calories out. And it has a lot to do with gut bacteria. It has a lot to do with genetic predisposition. It has a lot, there's so much more to it that I think is clinical and medical that a lot of people don't recognize. So,
and there are really hard things that go along with it that you never think of completely. Like, again, having done all the diets in the world before, I can tell you that I had a unique experience 4 days after my sleep surgery that I had never had before. That was emotionally one of the hardest things I ever went through. I was having trouble sleeping. It was about 2 a.m, and I was watching Nick at Night, and I was watching my favorite Nick at Night show, which of course is Friends, because for people
mhm,
in our demographic, Friends was like defined a generation. And I
right.
watched Joey Tribbiani make the world's largest pastrami sandwich. And the next thing I knew, I was sobbing uncontrollably because I thought I
Oh,
was never going to eat a pastrami sandwich or pastrami or sandwich or anything at all ever again. And I just sat there and thought, what did I do? What have I done at this point? What did I
right.
and first of all, spoiler alert, not only have I eaten pastrami since then, I've actually eaten pastrami in between 2 slices of bread.
Gasp.
I know, it's shocking. It's shocking. Now, I have not eaten an entire pastrami sandwich, but I have eaten pastrami in between 2 slices of bread. I've even eaten good pastrami in between 2 slices of bread. And
Right.
by the way, if you're a sleever and you're in here, if you haven't already realized this, the number one realization I had that makes my life amazing is that I can only put so much food into my body, and so it better be the highest quality, best tasting food that I can possibly get. I
Oh,
don't
yes.
I don't eat low quality stuff anymore. Like if I'm going to go out to dinner, I go to the expensive places. I go to the good, the good Italian places, the good steakhouses. Because if I'm only going to eat a little bit, it better be the best. So,
And so, and Nancy says I can do Dave's Killer Bread one slice. So in bariatric mindset success,
yeah,
and I don't know if you've seen it, where I say your body is not a garbage can.
right. Yeah,
You're
no, 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 no.
like you're like I have learned that where if I'm gonna put something good in my body, if I'm gonna put something in my body, it's gonna be good. And
Yeah.
before surgery, believe me, I did the drive-throughs, I did the McDonald's, I did the crap, and now, if it's
Yeah.
not high quality, it's not good.
One and even grab and go food, and even grab and go food
You
that's
can
high quality.
find good, healthy, high quality grab and go food.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
the
Like
point.
for instance, one of my my go tos. Um, I do a lot of eating on the go because I do a lot of driving.
Mm-hmm.
And things like stopping at a gas station and grabbing like a 7-Eleven tuna sandwich or a Lunchable or whatever. Um, Hillshire Farms makes these really nice little protein packs that have a few little slices of cheese, a few slices of like high quality, like wine infused salami or
Yes.
like calabrese salami or whatever, and a couple of little crispies.
Yeah,
It's
Jimmy
just
John's
about
lettuce wraps. Yeah.
Jimmy John's lettuce wraps are great. But the thing I love about the Hillshire Farms thing, not only can I get those almost anywhere at a gas station around here, my 2 movie theaters sell them.
Oh
So if
wow.
I don't want to have like, because I like to, if I'm going to go to the movies, I'm a big movie buff. Like you can see movie posters behind me and things. But if I'm going to go to the movies and I want to watch a nice movie, I usually want to have something to munch, right? And I don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
want to like strap on a feed bag of popcorn because popcorn is a slidey food. I can take down a lot more popcorn than I think I can.
Correct.
But I can get that Hillshire Farms thing, and I can munch on that while I'm watching, and have say some water. Or my other pro tip: I hate water. I hate it. I can't stand water. I used to do sparkling waters and flavored waters and Diet Coke and all that. My pro tip: go to the grocery store if you don't like water. Go to the grocery store, pick up the little canisters with little packets of Crystal Light, and keep one of those with you. You can buy a bottle of water at the movies, dump in your Crystal Light packet, and now you got iced tea.
No, I agree. And we in the Mavens group, Bariatric Mindset Mavens, there was somebody yesterday that posted like, "Hey, are you guys having trouble drinking plain water?" For the first 3 years as a post-op, I've only been drinking plain water for about the
Right.
last year and a half, almost 2 years. I could not drink plain water, and so I think it is very important to recognize, what do I need? And I would feel nauseous if I had plain water. I would feel nauseous. It wasn't that I didn't like the taste. It was literally my body would have this physical visceral reaction to plain water until and by the way, the whole Crystal Light thing, because I think that's brilliant, because that's what I did for a while, but I also would not use the whole packet. I would use
Right.
like a quarter of the packet because our taste buds change, and so I didn't need it to be that sweet. It was
Yeah.
I just needed a
Especially for a
tiny
20
bit to
ounce bottle.
flavor it.
Yeah,
Right,
especially for a
right.
20 ounce bottle. If you get the liter bottle, that's a little different, but yeah, and I'll tell you the other thing, if I can mention, I'm running a
Yes.
contest. Can I talk about my contest? So here's my contest,
Please.
guys. It's really simple. All you have to do is buy a copy of the book. Again, the book is hashtag Sleeve Life, losing half of myself and finding the rest. Buy a copy, take a picture of yourself with it, and post it on either Facebook and tag me at Sleeve Life Book, or post it on, I have an Insta thing now.
Right.
That's at Sleeve Life Book. So you can post it on the Facebook or on the Insta
On
thing.
Instagram. Okay.
Yep, that. And if you tag me in that, probably, I'm just going to say it's like September. I'm going to say probably through November 1st or through December 1st. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to let it go for a little while. But I'm going to take all of those people and enter them into a hopper. And I'm just going to draw out probably 1, maybe 5 people. I haven't decided yet, but at least 1, maybe 5. You will win a couple of different things. Number 1, I will send you a personalized copy of Sleeve Life signed by me. When I do release my Audible version, I will get you a free copy of the Audible version.
Woohoo!
So one of the other things I want to do with this is I want to do sort of like coaching, but not like not mental health coaching because I'm not qualified, but like, success coaching and friendly guy coaching. And I love doing speaking engagements and those sorts of things.
Yes.
So the deal is, if you're one of the people that wins, I'm going to give you a free 1-hour one-on-one live session with me.
Good.
So you get a free one-on-one like this. So if you're not enjoying hearing me talk, don't enter. Right? But if you like this, then enter. Absolutely. So.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. And no, I think that this is a great part of everybody's journey. And if you guys haven't, and I shared it in a couple more groups while we've been talking and added the Amazon link on there so that everybody can access that. And I would have to go back and share it in Aviva, so because I don't know that they know where we are. But no, I think this is great. And when does the contest end? So share.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say through the end of the year. I'm gonna say through the end of the year. So share a picture of yourself with the book through the end of the year, and at the end of the year, I will draw some winners.
Okay. Now I want to share something else too, because I have, as part of the bonuses for the Bariatric Mindset group program.
Right. Great group program. Super excited.
We have 5 winners who are receiving a hard copy of your book.
Just like this one.
Sleeve Life. And I'm going to tag them. So they are, and I don't know if they're on this call today, and I just did it by random number generator. So they are Nicole Coolish, Ruth Ann Taylor, Lauren Kress, Ellen Rigney, and Julia Ward. So in their bonus packs that are getting mailed out, and I'll tag them, they will be getting a hard copy of your book, along with their Bariatric Mindset accountability workbook. So they get a 3-month accountability workbook as a bonus for the program. And so these 5 amazing women are going to be getting a copy of your book as well. And so I'm excited.
If the 5 of you send me an email, again, Jonathan@sleevelifebook.com, I will find a way to send you a handwritten something that you can tape into the front cover, or you can send me the book and I'll send it back, whatever you want. And somebody did ask in the group if I have any book signings coming up. I don't currently. I had one about a week ago, but I'm happy to. I'm happy to have you. You can send me your book and I'll sign it. I'm happy to travel to you if you want me to. If you're willing to park, or if you're within a few miles, I can walk there. But no, I want to do more book signings. I'm working on getting into some local bookstores and things like that, and just get out to meet people. I want to meet as many of you as I possibly can. And I guess there might be a thing. There might be a thing next year that I might be a part of somewhere.
There
nearby.
might be. Wink, wink.
He said, hinting quietly.
Yes. So no, I think this is awesome. And it's funny because I would love to come to Seattle and meet you in person. And I don't know, maybe we can have an Aviva reunion.
Oh, and hey, look, if you're in the Seattle area, as a complete aside that has nothing to do with any of this, or Kristen, if you're going to be here this weekend, I am hosting an enormous garage sale. I've got there's a couch for sale and lots of old clothing. Hey, if you're still wearing 3 or 4 XLs in men's sizes, there's some awesome Disney t-shirts that are going to be for sale.
Nancy's near Seattle, so
Nancy, if you're curious, send me a PM. I will get you the information. We really are. We're having a 3-day long garage sale coming up here, starting tomorrow.
This has been so much fun. Well, I have another commitment at 1, so sadly, guys, this we've got to cut it. But again, if you haven't gotten, yes, he's in Seattle, Nancy, north of Seattle. Are you in Everett or?
I'm south of Everett. I'm in between Seattle
Edmonds.
Mill Creek area. Mill Creek, Linwood.
Okay. So, so Nancy, get his information. And if you guys haven't already checked out Sleeve Life book, please check it out. SleeveLifeBook.com is the website. And then also feel free to check it out on Amazon. Sleeve Life, #Sleeve Life, losing half of myself and finding the rest. Also, please feel free to join us if you guys are looking for additional, the mindset piece, mental and emotional assistance after weight loss surgery. Come on over and join us in the Bariatric Mindset group, Bariatric Mindset Mavens. And if you're curious about what I do, yeah, he's in there. Feel free to hop on bariatricmindset.com and check me out. So I hope that you guys have an amazing day. And Jonathan, we will have to do this again once we get my podcast up and running and go deeper. So thank you for joining me. And
thank you for having me. Yay! I appreciate it. Thanks everybody in the room.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, now the phone doesn't want to stop. Of course.